Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game. Genesis 27:3. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Food for the Plot. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. Today I am very honored to have this special guest, my beautiful wife, Gwendalyn, better known as Gwen. So today we're just going to be getting into a lot of her background and talking about, how we met and how she was brought up in life all the way in Alaska.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's hop into this. I have a very special questionnaire for her today. I didn't want to ask a whole lot of the same hunting related questions because Gwen hasn't really done a whole lot of hunting in her life, not yet anyways. So let's get started. I guess just to open this podcast up, you want to tell everybody kind of like how we met?
Yeah.
I mean, just in a nutshell, kind of brief.
Sure. So, I'm 23, you're 25. We met, I was 19, about to turn 20, and it was in the winter and happened really fast over Tinder, had a couple dates, and since the second date, we've just been inseparable and got married within how many days?
70 something, 72, I think.
72 days.
Yeah. I was stationed at J-Bear in Alaska. So that's how we met. She's born and raised in Alaska.
Yeah.
But I was stationed there. And so that's, how we met.
Yeah.
And
we went to the courthouse in Anchorage and got hitched.
Yeah, pretty much. And went to Golden Corral right after.
Yep.
So yeah, good times. But, well, you want to kind of, I guess, talk about, like your background in Alaska, maybe just give us a brief like family history because, they are a big hunting family up there,
Sure. Yeah. Like I was definitely a tomboy growing up. I was outside all the time, building forts, playing with my dog, running through the woods. And we lived not in town, but outside of town. And so we had a fairly decent sized property in the neighborhood. And my dad, he was the big hunter and provider for the family. My mom was not very outdoorsy either. So yeah, but growing up in Alaska was something special. I was born in Palmer and raised in Wasilla. So all very close there in the valley.
Which if you kind of take on your hand,
yeah,
right.
If this is Alaska, hopefully it's not backwards. But like Anchorage is right here, and Wasilla is like 45 minutes away from there.
Right, and those are that's pretty much like
the suburbs almost, because Anchorage is the biggest city, and then
north there's just nothing, pretty much.
Basically nothing. Yeah, it's an 8-hour drive to Fairbanks.
so pretty much like the north of Alaska, like beyond where you're from, that's kind of like what you see in the TV shows and whatnot. But down there in Anchorage is huge. I don't know what equivalent it would be to like another big city.
I don't know.
But it is really big.
It's got to be big because the town that I grew up in is a town, and that's like 10,000 people there.
Which is bigger than here where I grew up. So
it's very spread out though because it's all along the highway. Like without the road, you can't get anywhere, and there'd be nothing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how Alaska was built.
Yeah. So your dad hunted a lot. I know he hunted moose. What else did he hunt?
Honestly, I think I don't want to say anything because I don't know for sure, but I know he's had friends that do hunt for caribou, so caribou, bear, they're big things up there. My Uncle Frank, he was a pilot, and I'm not sure if he flew the bush plane or he was the one that shot it, but we got a wolf skull from him because he took some guys on a hunting trip for wolves.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What did he, I think you've told me about your dad digging for clams and stuff though. And did he salmon fish?
Oh yeah, lots of fishing. He was actually in a fishing derby, I think on the Willow River, and he won third place. So I took his medal to school for show and tell. I was really proud of him, but he got, like the third biggest fish in the derby. And so, yeah, we had lots of smoked salmon growing up, and moose. They'd butcher it right there in our garage. So, and all the families would come together and package it and grind it and everything, and then they'd split it up because the moose is so huge.
Yeah.
And we'd go down to Chick in the summers, and usually that'd be a family thing too. My mom would come along, and I'd play on the rocky beach, and they'd dig for clams.
Wow, that's cool.
And then we'd can them right there too.
No kidding.
Wash them and can them. Yeah.
Well, what's the process of canning them?
Well, like you have to rinse them and probably cut them. I was a child when all this was going on. It's been a long time since I went, but basically clean them up like you would a fish or something, and then divvy them up. And some people grind them into little bits, for like clam chowder or whatever, or you can leave them kind of whole and people fry them, I guess, or something. And and then you can can them that way.
Well, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Well, my first question is, what was it like growing up in Alaska in a hunting family? And can you paint us a picture of, your hometown lifestyle there? But I think you pretty much nailed that pretty good.
I mean, yeah, having the moose every winter, we really depended on that. So it was nice that my dad was able to bring that home for us and decorate his garage with the huge antlers. And quiet hometown, outside all the time. And I'm really lucky and thankful that my family was based there in Alaska and I got the chance to grow up there, because it's quite a flex.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, do you have any favorite memories from hunting trips or outdoor adventures with your family, even if you weren't like hunting yourself or necessarily like fishing or digging for the clams?
Yeah, I remember, like I said, clam digging when we'd go down to the beach in Alaska, and it's no white sandy beach. The water's not warm or anything. No. But that was always fun. I'd make like little sailboats out of driftwood and sail them across the ponds and stuff and look at tide pools and whatnot. And I remember my dad used to take our family fishing in our old motorhome we had, and we'd go to the Willow River campground, and we'd rent pontoon boats and float down the river, and it spits you out where it meets like a glacier river. Oh. And so once you get to that part, it's really cold. It's silty. The water's gray. You can't see through it. And that's like the scary, wild part. And then once you get through that, that's the end of the route and you get picked up. But So we used to do that in the summer.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what role did wild food, like the moose, clams, salmon, or even like berries play in your family's meals and traditions? Did you guys have any traditions, that you did each year?
I mean, I'd say everybody getting together to butcher the moose, that was definitely like hands-on, bringing our community together, because it was all my dad's friends and all of their wives and all of their kids would come over. And so I'd play with the kids, and my mom would help the wives package or whatever, and the men would be cutting. And every year after the salmon run, they'd smoke some salmon. And so my dad's got a buddy that we like his recipe the best, and we got that from him. And I think that's the stuff that you tried. It's like sweet with the brown sugar.
Yeah.
With the wood chips. That makes it really good.
Delicious, yeah.
And I think one time when they were butchering moose, somebody brought over some seal blubber.
No kidding.
Because I think they must have had a Alaskan Native connection. And so my mom tried it. Wow. Tried the muktuk is what they call it. And so, that was just something else cool.
That's crazy.
Berry picking every fall. I'd go up into the mountains with my best friend in Hatcher's Pass, and we'd pick berries. And so it kind of had a cycle to it that was constant throughout my childhood.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool, and so different than what we experience around here, but we still have our typical traditions, and looking forward to hunting season coming around and picking black raspberries in the summer, and shucking corn from the garden and stuff like that.
So. Up there it's blueberries. Is the big thing. So
that's cool. Well, were there any outdoor skills or knowledge passed down in your family that you still value today?
That's a good one. It's not like my dad ever took me out hunting with him or anything, but just growing up, having access to the wild game and the fish and everything, like, instilled in me that it's very important to provide for your family. And I'm thankful that you do that for us, and fill the freezer, and just being outside in the beauty of nature, like, especially being away from Alaska now, it's really taught me to like treasure those moments and respect the outdoors.
Yeah. All right. Well, how did your family view conservation, land stewardship, or respecting nature when you were a kid?
Well,
like, I know your mom's very like a gardener. She loves her flowers and plants and whatnot.
Yeah. I remember one time she transplanted some fiddlehead ferns that she dug up from by the river a couple miles down the road and brought them into her garden, and tried to like cultivate that area. And my dad, he was big on doing everything himself. He had the machinery to process and do the landscaping around our yard and whatever. And like, I remember he would take, I think, the pelvic bones or the hip bones of the moose, and he hung them out on a tree for a while. And that's what they used to like rattle them in, I think. So he like took that from the moose that he had already killed and used it.
Yeah, because I guess you can't, it's not like a small deer antler where you can rattle those together, huh? You can't just take two moose antlers and bang them together like they're fighting. So it'd have to be something light and smaller.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. That's crazy. That's really cool. Wow. Well, one more question here from this first topic, but what was your least favorite and then most favorite part about growing up in a like hunting / outdoorsy household?
Probably least favorite is being outside in the rain when I didn't want to be. As a kid, you get all cold and grumpy, and also my dad was gone a lot for work, and then also hunting trips and whatever would take him away. So I always missed him during those times. And summer was like his busiest because when the ground's thawed, he builds fences and puts in guardrail. That's the only time you can do it. So in the summer, there's a really big rush to get everything done. And so that's when my family would be the busiest and he'd be gone. And favorite part, I guess, is just having all those fond memories that I can look back on of just being outside all the time. And I don't know, I kind of took it for granted, I guess, all the beauty there, but getting to experience things and grow up like how most kids don't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely had like a, completely different than, most kids around here. You couldn't, I don't even know how I want to say it, but I mean, it's not like around here, it gets too hot in the summer and, you're either in the pool or you want to be inside in the air conditioning. And most people up there don't have air conditioning. Like probably 99% of people don't have air conditioning up there.
Yeah, it's not something they build into the houses up there. You just need a heater. That's it. And the hottest it really gets usually about 65, 70 during the summer. So it's, the lakes are cold.
Yeah. So, I mean, you like, growing up there, you definitely don't really want to, there's no need to just be cooped up inside playing on your little Game Boy or something.
Yeah.
You know, you're outside doing something probably.
But yeah, you got to be tough to be outside because it's cold. And
yeah, the state bird in Alaska is the mosquito, in case you didn't know, because they're everywhere and they're huge. They're as big as pterodactyls. So
yeah,
yeah, they'll carry you away and take you to Russia or something. All right, well, moving on to the next topic here, I want to know about your perspective on hunting in the outdoors now. So kind of my first question here, like, how has your perspective on hunting changed since you met me and moved to Ohio? Because you've been in Ohio for, what, I guess almost 2 years, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years. So, I mean, hunting was always a big part of me growing up. So I feel like it's kind of natural that I have a partner that does the same thing and provides in that way. And I'm not against it at all. But I do miss you when you're out during deer season and you're gone all the time.
Yeah.
But moving to Ohio, like, there's deer here. There's not really deer in Alaska like that. But around here, they're the biggest game you can hunt, pretty much.
Right.
So that's different, having the deer wander around and be so close and seeing everything that you do, like put out the feeders and the trail cameras and stuff. Like, it's really impressive. So, yeah, and it's cool just seeing the deer up close and personal like that.
Yeah, and I'd say things haven't really changed for you too much, because I mean, you help me process now. You know, you were in that in the summer sausage videos and other videos and whatnot, and you help me do all that stuff. So
yeah, I mean,
it's just on a much smaller scale.
Yeah, but I'm definitely taking on that role now, where as I was just watching it as a kid, I'm more hands-on now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you love summer sausage.
Oh yeah, I'll do anything to make summer sausage.
Yeah. Yeah, the cheese is your favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. Well, do you see differences between Alaskan hunting culture and what you've experienced here in the Midwest? I mean, kind of, because of the literal size difference in game.
Yeah. And most people in Alaska, like, if you're hunting moose and you want to go to a good spot where there's big ones, you have to be flown out there in a bush plane or by some other means of transportation. It's not like you could just drive, and the forest, the land is too big. You can't just walk and hope you see one for the most part. So it's really remote and rural, and you have to like really get out there. Of course, like I've kind of hinted at, life really revolves around the seasons up there. Yeah. And so there's fishing in the summer and moose and caribou in the fall. And I guess bear too. People hunt doll sheep in the late summer, I think. And so when there's not any snow, there's a really big push to get outside. And here in the Midwest and just in the lower 48 in general, as I'm getting accustomed to it, it seems like hunting here is a little bit more for sport than out of pure necessity. Yeah. Up there, people, survive on what they catch and what they hunt. And here, it's a little bit like, you appreciate the meat, but there's a lot more people like going destination hunting, and there's deer farms and all of that. So you're definitely not like that. You're not going for the biggest buck, or you only want the antlers, but some people are.
Yeah. Well, and down here, we are really big on our agriculture, especially here in the Midwest. So we have, we don't have to have those big old moose up there, because we have cows and, plenty of crops and everything else, where Alaska really doesn't have that. So.
Yeah, that's another thing. Alaska's not really known for growing much. I mean, they harvest the king crab and the salmon out of there. Yeah. But
although we did grow, the biggest cabbage I've ever seen was up there when we lived in on-base housing, and I built this little like lean-to greenhouse thing. And of course, because in the summer is almost 24 hours daylight,
pretty much.
And this cabbage was like, it almost was as big as a pumpkin, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this thing was huge.
The Alaska State Fair, I will say, they're known for their giant cabbage and pumpkins. All the cold weather crops like that do grow really well up there.
I think they grow a lot of potatoes too, don't they?
Potatoes and carrots. So there are some farms, but it's nothing like around here where all you see is fields and the country is just corns and beans.
Yeah.
It's not like that up there. But yeah, they still, you know, they sustain themselves, and there's a few U-pick farms, and they're really known for their peonies and blueberries, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. Well, what's something you're curious or nervous about when it comes to joining me in the deer blind this season? I know, like, you know, you've been duck hunting with me a few times there in Alaska.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got that first hunting experience out of the way. But yeah, you know.
Yeah. So duck hunting with you in Alaska, that was a different experience. Like, I think that's one of my favorite memories ever is kayaking on the open water under the northern lights, getting all set up, and then having the muskrats climb on our kayak and get in the boat with us and stuff and swim around. And seeing how excited you were when you shot some ducks. So that's different. And like, I've never been hunting for deer or anything, so I'm excited. We'll see how that goes. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm nervous. I don't want to make a bad shot, of course. And like, depending on the draw, the draw weight? Yeah. You know, hopefully I can hold it and manage it all.
Well, I think we're going to use you're going to use the crossbow this year, so that'll be cocked back, and won't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, okay, that's cheating.
No. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good start for you. Is going to be the crossbow and definitely in the blinds, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
And we'll practice a lot before.
Yeah, of course. I wasn't too bad with the bow when we shot a couple summers ago.
No, the crossbow will be a lot easier. So it'll be fun.
Something else I'm nervous about, like that one doe that you got, was it 2 years ago now? Like, I helped you drag it out of the woods and like find the blood trail and follow it and everything, and I had to help you pull it back, and the way it felt, like holding on to its little leg, like it felt like a dog or something. Like, I was like, oh, this is traumatizing. I cried, but he said a really nice prayer over it, you know, to thank it for its life and the meat that it was going to give us. So that made me feel a lot better. So I'm not really looking forward to actually killing something, but it's part of the process.
We'll just get out there and get a start on it. And then if you don't like it, it's not like I'm going to push you to do it. So
I mean, I'm not
we'll just try it out and see what happens. You know?
I'm not some wimp though either. Like, I'm sure once I shoot something, I'll be excited that I actually got it and didn't make it suffer, but it's also kind of sad.
Yeah, of course. And if you didn't have those feelings, then probably wouldn't be a good hunter, you know?
Yeah, I'd be a serial killer or something.
Well, moving on here to the next question. What are you hoping to get out of your first real deer hunt? Like, is it about the harvest, the experience, or something else? You know, just like, I mean, at least me thinking about it, I know I just asked you the question, but just personally, like, I'm looking forward to us just being together and doing something that I love.
Yeah.
Rather than sit on the couch, eat bonbons, and watch 90 Day.
Well, I'd say that's what I'm looking forward to, is sharing that experience with you, because you've been bugging me for a few years now, pretty much the whole time we've been together, when are you going to go hunting with me? Yeah. So I've got extra camo you can wear. Yeah. So just to have that first experience and make the really good memory with you. Yeah, it'll be a good time. It'll be fun, especially now. With the shoot house out there, I think that's going to make it a lot easier and a lot more comfortable rather than sitting in some ground blind and it's real hot out or getting rained on or something, or if it's, in the winter and it's real cold, ground blinds still aren't warm at all, so that shoot house would be nice. Yeah. I don't even care if we actually harvest anything. Yeah. Which the shoot house video is right around the corner. Yeah. Wrapping things up on that should be out in a few weeks. It's going to look really cool. Yep.
Well, are there aspects of outdoor life that you enjoy now that maybe you didn't care much for as a kid?
I think part of something that I've learned to enjoy now is like having to get up early, and I'm scared of the dark. I don't like walking through there. As long as he's with me, I'll be fine. But, early mornings, you can't really get a kid to do that. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be out before the sun was up usually, but the sun is up all the time in the summer. But being able to sit there in the quiet, just like how we watch the ducks come in and the sunrise and everything, I do really enjoy like those peaceful moments, even though I talk a lot. It's hard for me to stay quiet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, what's a piece of outdoor gear that you can't live without, even if you're not hunting? I know you're really big on hiking.
Yeah.
You're a super hiker in Alaska, something that I despise. So, you could relate it to that if you want. Just any outdoor gear, I guess, or maybe even a piece of outdoor gear you've already thought about taking with you when we go hunting this year.
Well, I mean, just if you're outdoors in general, you need a good pair of hiking boots, and they're a must. I have my good old trusty Solomons, and I always like bringing a hammock.
Yeah.
That way you can set it up wherever you go and chill out.
And if you're in Alaska, you need a mosquito net for it.
Yeah. And also like a good thing up there, if you're hiking and you're going far, bring like one of those Life Straw water bottles with the built-in filter.
Yeah.
And that way you can fill it up from the glacier lake or the waterfall or something. The water's pretty clean up there, but just having that extra filter where you don't have to carry all that water.
For sure.
Yeah.
Any piece of gear you think you might want to take with you hunting this year?
Like this. I can't do the calls myself.
Oh, yeah. I will, we'll go over that later.
Yeah, I don't know what I need for hunting. Just patience, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the third topic here. We've got food traditions and conservation. So, just 3 questions here. But what wild foods do you miss the most from Alaska? Whether it be the salmon or moose or berries or clams or anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fish there is just unmatched to anything that you can get around here, especially in landlocked areas. But just the fresh, beautiful pink salmon and the halibut.
Yeah, the halibut.
The halibut's really good fried up. So
yeah. What are the different types of salmon they've got?
Well, they used to teach us this thing in school. We'll see if I can remember, but it went along with your hand. So there's like pinks and king salmon, of course. I think king was for your big finger and pink's on your pinky. And they all have like slang names too. Like there's like Chinook salmon, but I think they're also called like dog salmon. And I think the pinks are also called chum salmon. I'm probably making a fool out of myself. I don't quite remember. I have a terrible memory. You can attest to that. But, silvers, kings, those are like the main ones that you'd fish for down there. The reds.
Yeah. What do you have a favorite one?
No, they all taste the same pretty much as long as they're fresh. They're really good.
Yeah.
Better than anything you can buy from the store here. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the worst salmon up there is even better than the best salmon you could buy here.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
For sure. I agree. Well, how do you feel about the role hunting plays in conservation and land management today, now that you see it through, the things I do here with Kicking Feet Outdoors, just through like prepping for hunting season and, the little bit of conservation work that I do.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Even on a small scale with what you do, I know like I've realized how much that humans affect the ecosystem and how much of a positive impact you can have on the surrounding area. Even just down to like the pollinators, the bees and the butterflies. It was not really something I ever thought about before, but having designated prairie areas and, you know, watering holes put in for the deer, like, so they have access to water and that sort of thing. Like, it's really cool to see. And it's encouraging, I think, that we can make our little slice of the world healthier for the animals around us.
Yeah, probably like the simplest thing you could do, is cut down some unwanted brush, like if it's some honeysuckle or something, whatever, or even limbs off of a tree if you're pruning it, and build a brush pile. And, rabbits love to live in there. So just something as simple as that,
Right.
Little things. Little things are what make a big difference. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, if you could preserve one outdoor tradition or activity from your childhood to pass on to, future generations, what would it be?
Well, up in Alaska, we have like the Seward Sea Life Center where they have seals and puffins and little touch tanks with starfish and, all the things that are around in the waters and like the Kenai Peninsula and everything. So I think places like that are really important. Like we went as kids in the 4th grade, we went on a field trip there, and we also in the 5th grade, we took a trip in Homer, I think, to an island out there where they were actually doing research, and shared some of what they were doing out there with us kids. And so I think just stuff like that involving children and showing them what, impact that they could have on the future, and showing them that it's important to keep these things around because, we want to preserve these things for even their children, our children.
Yeah, for sure. Probably, best thing you do is get them involved in anything like that. I mean, there's so many great organizations out there like Ducks Unlimited and Pheasants Forever, Whitetails Unlimited, the National Wild Turkey Federation, stuff like that, where you can get kids involved, get them out there, planting trees and all the other things, and
or
just
even
get them involved,
or even just Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Venture Crew. Yeah, they're a branch of the Boy Scouts of America. I don't even know if they're called that anymore. But the Venture Crew, mine just happened to be a group of all girls, but that is where I learned a lot of my like hiking and camping skills and built my confidence in being in the outdoors on my own. All the trips I'd take with them, we'd, go kayaking across the Pacific Ocean. And some of the girls before I joined, they hiked like the Chilkoot Trail that the gold miners took over from like Skagway.
Wow.
The Golden Staircase. So just super cool things like that. And those are good memories I have from being a kid, and I wouldn't be who I am now without them.
Yeah. All right. Well, one of the last topic here before we jump into some questions you want to ask me. So, this last topic here is fun, some lighthearted and relationship-based questions here. So, what's the wildest thing you've ever eaten outdoors?
You mean like some crazy animal, or like, oh, I've eaten on the top of a mountain?
Whatever you want to share. It's yours to interpret how you want.
Okay. I mean, probably the strangest thing I've eaten, well, to a lot of people, that's moose. They've never tried moose before. But we had those alligator bites down in Florida when we went on vacation, and it literally tasted like chicken.
They were good.
So they were good. That'd be like a crazy thing, and I've eaten. And I don't know, the highest elevation I've probably eaten at was up in Hatcher's Pass. I think that was the first time I had oatmeal when we made this snow cave and snowshoed up in Hatcher's Pass and ate up and spent the night up there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, how would you describe me as a hunter to someone who doesn't know me?
Well, I think you're the best kind of hunter out there. You do everything by the book, legally. You want to do it humanely and make sure that the animals don't suffer. And that's hunting, trapping, whatever, fishing, all the things that you do. So you're really respectful, and like you give thanks to God for whatever creature he's gifted you or, let you experience. And I think that's really important. So yeah, you're ethical, and you do things out of a good place in your heart.
Well, thank you. Those are some kind words.
You're welcome.
Well, what's your favorite part about tagging along with me on outdoor trips, even if you're not actively hunting?
Well, I remember when we first got to Ohio and we scouted the Harrison public land, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we brought Everest, our husky, with us. And so I was like tromping through the woods. I don't even know if I had good shoes on or if I had my muck boots and they were hurting my feet, and pulling this dog along with us and branches hitting me. So I was really not a happy camper then.
Yeah.
But I feel like over the years, and you've just included me in a lot more things, clearing trails and putting up trail cameras and checking on feeders and refilling them or whatever. So I've grown to enjoy that time out in the woods with you, and now I'm happy to toot along after you.
Heck yeah. I love having you there. It's always a good time, and yeah, it's stuff that I enjoy. So and I enjoy you. So add those two things together, I'm enjoying it even more.
Yeah, and as long as I can be there to help you and hold the batteries for the trail camera, or hopefully not drop any screws or anything.
Yeah.
That's more time that we get to spend together.
Yeah.
Versus you could be out doing that yourself and it takes twice as long, but then we get to hang out.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True. All right. Well, my last question here is, if you could plan the perfect outdoors day for the two of us, no cameras, no filming, no real work, what would that look like?
Oh, that's a good question.
Probably hiking on a grizzly bear infested trail in Alaska, huh?
Yeah, honestly, probably would want it to take place in Alaska. And there's any number of just beautiful trails up there. I want to take you, we'll hike up, in the mid-morning, and then we're going to have a picnic.
Yeah. And
play in the waterfalls or whatever water or river is there.
Yeah.
And hike back down. And that'll be I just want to share that beauty. Like, I want to take you to the places that I've seen.
Right.
That you haven't seen yet. And most people don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be the perfect day. And it's going to happen soon. We're going to Alaska in a couple weeks.
Yep. It'll be fun. I think, some of my favorite memories in Alaska were hiking trips that we took. Although there was one particular one we were going to go on. What trail was it?
Symphony Lakes.
Okay, the Symphony Lakes Trail. And at the trailhead, there was a yellow sign. I think it was like a dry erase board kind of thing where they could write on it.
Yeah.
And it had a note, something to the extent of, a mama grizzly bear with a couple cubs had charged a hiker within the first
mile of the trail.
And the hiker had to deploy her bear spray. Mm-hmm. And I looked on the timestamp on that, and it was like 10 minutes before
we had pulled up.
Yeah, and we did not hike that day because I said no.
Even though he had a gun, but like the first mile or two of that trail is trees, so it would be hard to see, where the bear's coming from. It's a good idea that we didn't. And you know what? We ended up at another beautiful spot because we couldn't be there. We went to the Eagle River Nature Center instead. And
hiked out.
And spent the night out there.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
That was a cool spot.
All right. Well, that does wrap up all the questions that I had for you today. So you're more than welcome to jump into some questions and ask me if you'd like.
Yeah, I wanted to switch things up a little bit and make this a little unique. So I got some questions that I want to ask you.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yep. All right. Getting into some of the questions that I prepared for you. Let's see. Do you think about safety while you're hunting differently now, or just being outdoors now that you have somebody waiting at home for you?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely take my safety more seriously. Being that I'm married, and also just from my time in the Army and learning to be cautious, and growing up with my mom who's a nurse. And yeah, so I definitely take safety a lot more seriously now than I ever have. There for a long time, I wouldn't wear a safety harness. And, now I make sure I have a safety harness whenever I'm in the stand. I have first aid kit in my hunting pack, things like that. And so, yeah, I do take it more seriously.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to not make it back and that pain be on Gwen here. So, that'd really suck. So,
And you're good at making sure, like, I always know where you are, when you're leaving, what time I should expect you back. And
right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
What is something about being a hunter and having that passion for it that you wish people who didn't have that wish they understood?
Well, that's a really good question. You can't force anybody to be passionate about hunting or outdoors or conservation. It's something that has to come naturally. But I think it's definitely something that can be learned by everybody. I just really enjoy seeing animals thrive. And I know that's unique coming from somebody who wants to kill everything. But I really enjoy putting out food and minerals and stuff for the deer in particular, because I know that's benefiting them. I know that the minerals, the salt blocks, are very beneficial towards the does, especially when they're breastfeeding their fawns.
Mhm.
And they need that to make milk for their fawns. The fawns need the nutrients to grow. So I've gotten plenty of trail cam pictures this year already of the does literally licking the salt blocks, and the bucks need it just as much just to grow their antlers in the velvet. I just really enjoy doing all the things that help the animals, like building the brush piles and putting out the food sources and the watering holes in areas that there's no active water, and putting out, fruit trees or whatever it is. And
even though, we're humans, we still are a natural predator of most of these animals. And so we're part of the ecosystem too. You play a big role in that. You can get some old bucks off the property, or, if they're too old or they have bad genes or something, you can help get that out of the gene pool in the immediate area.
True.
Yeah. So it's an important thing to be a hunter.
Yeah. I wish people would understand that passion to see animals thrive. We're not.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't ruthless killers.
There's a lot more that goes into it besides just the killing too. And I've seen a lot of that on the back end. All the prep work he does all summer long. Like, he's really trying to make these things healthy and thrive, like he said.
Yeah.
He puts a lot of thought into it. But like, what about the people who say like, oh yeah, you are just a killer? They don't understand why you do it. What would you say to them?
Well, they'll never understand until they try it out and come see, what we're doing or what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. They see everything from a distance. They see it on TikTok. They see it on social media. But they don't actually get hands-on and see this. And, I just wish I could get everybody involved. Maybe we should do more workshops for conservation and get more people involved that don't understand. That'd be a good time for people to see, what most of us hunters actually do. It's the stuff that you don't see that we're doing.
It's not just a bloodbath like you imagine. It's a lot more, it's a delicate process, and it, goes back to what the native people were doing hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Like it was an integral part of life for them back then, and we're just continuing that on. I do believe really strongly in the tradition part of it. And sorry to say, but if you weren't into eating animals, then you probably wouldn't have survived back then.
Right. I mean, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What is something that I've taught you about the outdoors or about nature?
Well, you've taught me to be more outgoing. I am very finicky when it comes to hiking, especially in Alaska on the bear trails and whatnot, because I don't want to encounter a bear. But Gwen here is very brave and very outgoing and has gotten me in a lot more places that I definitely wouldn't have gone without her. So you've definitely taught me to be more outgoing, go that extra mile. If that's an extra mile into public land with your climber on your back to go, hunt some deer, then, that helps you because you're more outgoing. Yeah. I don't know really how to say it, but you've definitely taught me to be more outgoing. Take some risks, without being too risky, and, because there's been a lot of places that we've went that extra distance or went down that maybe more well-known bear territory area, and I've been able to see beautiful waterfalls or just these beautiful views that had I not gone down there, had I not been outgoing, I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have got to enjoy it. So
yeah, I'm all about getting off the beaten path.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really sweet, babe. Thanks. Do you ever feel torn between going out in the woods or staying home with me, during deer season, for example? I know you look forward to deer season all year long. Literally, it's your favorite season of the year, but it's not mine because he's gone all the time.
Yeah. So my answer to your question would be no offense, but no, I don't feel torn. Yeah, I do miss you from the deer stand or the deer blind, but that's the great thing about having our phones. I'm able to sit there and text you, or Snapchat you or whatever, because I don't know, I really enjoy my time in the stand or in the blind, hunting or whatever I'm doing. And while I do miss you, I know I get to come back home to you, and that's why I really want to get you out there hunting with me this year, and we'll just be together. So be the best of both worlds.
All right. No, I think this is my last one. Yeah, okay. So when we have kids one day, what is something that you want to instill in them about the outdoors? Something you want to teach them?
Well, I guess number one would be to respect nature. Give back to nature. Give your praise to God. All the glory be to Him. He's the one that created everything. Without Him creating anything, we would have nothing. Well, we wouldn't even be here. So,
right.
I want to teach our kids to be grateful and to be generous and to give back to everything. I would like them to make safety a priority for sure, and and just enjoy it, because sitting 30 feet up in a tree, in my book, beats sitting at home watching TV any day. So you're 30 feet physically closer to God, and you're just enjoying everything. And so I just want them to get out and be outgoing, be adventurous, and enjoy everything that God has given us. So
yeah.
All right, babe. Well, thank you so much for asking me those questions. I do appreciate it. And I'm very honored and blessed to have you on today's podcast. I'm sure this is definitely not the last time you see Gwen on camera here with Kicking Feet Outdoors. I think we'll definitely have some more podcasts when I don't have other guests on here. I think we'll definitely come up with some topics just to discuss here on Food for the Plot. And I'm really thankful you're here today, and I thank you for answering all my questions, and really excited to get you out hunting this year. and try some things out and be more outgoing and adventurous. So yeah, I love you. Thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Food for the Plot. So whether you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share with a friend, and definitely go check out Gwen's new vlog. Do you know the username?
Gwendalyn Warner. It's just my name. So yeah.
I will add it in the description or somewhere associated with this video.
I have my own YouTube channel now where, yeah, I do like lifestyle content.
Yep. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's really cool. And yeah, thanks, babe.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank each and every one of you, and y'all have a good day. God bless. Stick with it.